Happy Halloween and welcome to Grady News Source. I'm Chelsey Shirley.
And I'm Allie Bailey.
A Madison County woman was convicted today of 2 counts of first-degree vehicular homicide and 6 counts of causing serious injury by vehicle. Whitney Baker Howard was charged with killing a bicyclist last September while driving under the influence, all while her child was in the back seat of the car. Reporter John Hamill has been speaking to people involved in the case. He's at the courthouse now. John? Over the past few weeks, Grady News Source has been covering local drives to benefit hurricane relief, but there are a lot of hungry people in the community that are in need too. With the 2017 Hunger Bowl in full swing, Grady News Source reporter Tori McElhaney took a closer look into hungry children in the local Athens community. Tori, what have you found out today? Thanks, Tori. If you would like to help fight child hunger in the area, you can donate money or food items to the Food Bank of Northeast Georgia's annual Hunger Bowl going on until November 10th.
This is Northeast Georgia's only local source for TV news. From the Grady College at the University of Georgia, this is Grady News Source.
Good evening and welcome to Grady News Source. I'm Chelsey Shirley.
And I'm Allie Bailey. The Dogs may be on top for Georgia football, but some students are not feeling as much love for.
The state of Georgia ranks #1 in the nation in which to do business. This is the 5th consecutive year the state has won this award from Site Selection, an economic development trade magazine. Governor Nathan Deal mentioned that workforce development initiatives like the Hope Career Grant play a big role in the continuing economic growth of the state. The Hope Scholarship Program doesn't just help Georgia students who are earning undergraduate degrees. It also provides funds for students in the technical college system. The Hope Career Grant, established in 2014, provides financial assistance for high-demand programs, often found at technical colleges. Governor Nathan Deal's announcement for business growth, he credits the Hope Career Grant for providing a qualified workforce.
Our credentials in terms of a qualified workforce that can be trained through our Hope Grant program.
The Career Grant differs from the Hope Scholarship in that the grant only includes Georgia students enrolled in 12 key areas, including computer technology, movie production and set design, and commercial truck driving.
The program has produced exceptional results. About 88.4% of students who take advantage of this are finding job placement.
Deal mentioned that the overall job placement of students who have earned both certificates and degrees is 99.2%.
That's about as close to being perfect as you can get.
Governor Deal says he'll ask the 2018 state legislature to expand the program for more students. The Georgia Student Finance Commission has a full list of institutions that are eligible to receive Hope Career Grant funds. But just because a college or university is eligible doesn't mean it offers the programs funded by the grant. I confirm that Athens Technical College is an eligible institution that does offer the Hope Career Grant, but have not received a comment from the college on the specific programs they offer. Governor Deal hopes that the state's economic growth will continue into
Conversation today on politics in Georgia. UGA professor Charles Bullock and Georgia State professor Robert Howard spoke on the evolution and current state of politics in Georgia, where they touched on the potential of today's outcome. Reporter Chelsey Shirley spoke with Professor Bullock at today's session. She's in the newsroom now. Chelsey, what did the professor say is the current state of Georgia politics? Oh no, turn the mic on, turn the mic on.
In this November's special election, 8 state legislature seats are being considered by both Republican and Democratic candidates. UGA professor Charles Bullock's book, The Three Governors Controversy, Bullock reflects on Georgia's past, from being a solid blue state to now a predominantly red state. Georgia State professor Robert Howard says that turnout is the biggest factor for both parties in all special elections.
I do think that these special elections, vote turnout is critical. So I don't know what's going to happen.
Professor Bullock says 117 and 119 are 2 of the most competitive districts in the state and could go either way. But the Republican Party tends to turn out more for elections.
This being a special election, could be another reason the Republicans probably hold on to these two districts.
Both Howard and Bullock predict that the election in District 119 could result in a runoff, as there are 4 candidates running for just 1 seat. Now we are having some technical difficulties, but Howard and Bullock made the point that Georgia isn't the most conservative state in the South. In fact, in the 2016 presidential election, Hillary Clinton won 10 of the 12 metro Atlanta counties, both including Gwinnett and Cobb counties. Now voting polls are still open here, and Grady News Source will continue coverage as the polls close and the votes come in. Live from the newsroom, Chelsey, Shirley, Grady News Source.
Thanks.
Local high schools are putting an emphasis on teaching agriculture. It is Georgia's biggest industry. Winder-Barrow High School has one of the leading agriculture departments in the area. Its FFA, Future Farmers of America program, has big plans for the future. Way back in 1929, Barrow County was the first county in the state of Georgia to initiate an FFA chapter in its schools. Now, 88 years later, Winder-Barrow High School's showing its 350 members just how important agriculture is, not only to the local economy, but also to the national economy. Grady News Source reporter Tori McElhaney visited the high school earlier today. Reporter Tori McElhaney said these students spend many hours researching individual projects on small animal care or welding. They also work with animals and agriculture mechanics, which will lead them into the workforce one day. But right now, many are focusing on scholarships. Natalie Looney, a student Tori spoke with, said if she were able to get a scholarship to go to college, it would be something that would set her up for many more opportunities in the future. Earlier today, Speaker of the House Paul Ryan and other members of the House Ways and Means Committee announced the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. If it passes, it will affect everyone, including people here. Representative Kevin Brady, chairman of the Ways and Means Committee, says as if this proposed plan will fix America's tax code and make taxes more fair for lower and middle income families. House of Representatives GOP members unveiled a long-anticipated tax reform plan after the new budget bill was released last week. Under the new reform plan named the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, the current 7 income tax brackets will be cut down to 4. But this isn't the only proposed change to the reform. Speaker of the House Paul Ryan states that this reform plan will help the middle class. A family of 4 is predicted to save nearly $1,200 yearly.
That $1,182 more covers about a year's worth of gas for your car. It covers your family's phone bill for the year, depending on how much data, of course, your kids use.
Dr. Charles Bullock, a professor of political science at the University of Georgia, specializes in legislative politics. He says that one of the key goals, lowering corporate tax rates, is actually a good thing.
Which, by all accounts, is the highest in this country anywhere in the world. And as a result of this, has driven a number of businesses to move their headquarters offshore.
But helping lower and middle income families by adding more to paychecks isn't the only thing the reform is slated to do. Currently, there are 7 income tax brackets. Under the proposed plan, 7 tax brackets will be reduced to 4. Congressman Jody Hice, who represents this area, released a statement saying, quote, "The tax code has become needlessly complicated and costly. We are taking action and have developed a new tax reform proposal that is built for growth." Now the bill moves to the Tax Writing Ways and Means Committee for consideration. After the bill is considered in the Tax Writing Ways and Means Committee, it will move on to the House floor. Republican leadership hopes to have the bill passed by the Thanksgiving holiday. President Trump is already in support of this reform plan, as several of these points come from a preliminary plan he released earlier this year. The UGA football team is undefeated this season and holds the #1 spot in the SEC East.
And after the break, we'll have more on how the Bulldogs' 8-0 record is helping local businesses in Athens.
Enrollment for buying individual health insurance plans is now open. Currently, there is only one company offering plans in the area. Better is the only company offering individual insurance plans for Clark, Oconee, Madison, Barrow, and Jackson counties. This means people who do not receive their health insurance from their work or off the marketplace will have to buy a plan from Ambetter or be fined. Fred Ammons, the CEO of Community Health Works of Georgia, says the biggest thing people need to know about signing up is they'll have less time to get their health insurance this year than in years past.
So you won't see advertising campaigns about the fact that December 15th is the deadline now instead of January 31st. If a consumer thinks that they can wait until January, that is not an option any longer.
Grady News Source reached out to Ambetter and the Georgia Office of Insurance for comment, but did not hear back from them. Currently, only 14 Georgia counties have more than one insurance provider for individual plans. Don't forget that daylight savings time ends early Sunday morning. We'll fall back an hour starting at 2 a.m. So be sure to set your clocks back an hour before going to bed on Saturday night.
Now, it's only been 2 days since Halloween, but we're already seeing Christmas coffee cups and seasonal decorations. We asked our Twitter followers whether or not it's too early to start celebrating the holiday season, and 60% of those people said yes, it is too early.
Well, you know, I'm definitely in that minority because the other day I downloaded 300 songs to my Christmas songs to my Spotify.
Christmas songs. But you know, the holiday season is coming up. That's all for tonight. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Allie Bailey.
And I'm Chelsey Shirley. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Madison County Fair is back for its 69th year. The fair chairperson says this fair is visited by community members from most of the surrounding area and is one of the few remaining in Georgia. Reporter Chelsey Shirley spent this morning out in Madison County Fairgrounds where crews are working to set up in orders for tonight's grand opening. Chelsey, is everything ready yet?
Well, mostly. Chairperson Jeremy Legg tells me that tradition here stays the same, but there is one new addition, and that's the problem. It's this Ferris wheel that's right behind me. Fairgoers won't be able to ride the Ferris wheel tonight.
But in the next hour, dozens of community members and local families will be here, riding rides, eating all the fair food, and enjoying live entertainment. The Comer Lions Club has operated the Madison County Agriculture Fair since 1948. Tradition keeps this fair running, something fair chairperson Jeremy Legg remembers quite well.
This fair has been going on for 69 years, so everybody knows where the fair is, usually.
But there is one new thing. This Ferris wheel is making its national debut at any fair for the first time. Dwayne James, who owns James Gang Amusements, says this Ferris wheel just arrived from Poland. But while James and his crew were setting up the wheel, they came across one big glitch.
Computer went out, so we're having to wait there overnight and some computer back in to finish the job.
The Ferris wheel was built with European voltage wiring. So when it arrived, the European levels and American levels caused the wheel's computer to crash. This, along with learning how to operate a computer-based ride, are all new difficulties for the James Gang. The rides, like you see behind me, use a series of flips and switches to operate on and off. But this new Ferris wheel uses a computer, and that provides a new challenge for the James Gang. The new computer has been overnighted from Poland, and James hopes that once it arrives Wednesday morning, assembly will be easy and the wheel will be ready for use starting tomorrow night. He hopes.
Well, now the fair does kick off in about an hour, so right at 6 o'clock, volunteers are all around me setting up their tents and their booths. There's live entertainment, tons of food, free parking. Admission is free for children ages 5 and under. Now, crew workers are hoping the Ferris wheel will be up and running starting tomorrow for the remainder of the week. Live in Madison County, Chelsey Shirley, Grady News Source.
Reporter Chelsey Shirley is live in the newsroom with an in-depth look at why the lawsuit was filed. Chelsey, what's going on?
Hey, yes, Allie, here in my hands is a copy of that lawsuit that was filed on Monday in Fulton County. It attempts to halt the current campus carry law that allows licensed permit holders to carry their concealed weapons on permitted areas on college campuses. 6 University System of Georgia professors feel as if the current campus carry law, quote, usurps the Board of Regents' constitutionally conferred exclusive authority over the government control and management of the University System of Georgia. 3 of those 6 professors actually call UGA their home. Throughout the official document are pages of written concerns from all 6 professors. John Knox is a tenured professor here at UGA and has been employed by the University System of Georgia for 16 years. Dr. Knox believes that guns in the classroom make the learning environment less safe for everyone and negatively impact his educational mission. Josiah Meeks, Distinguished Professor of Ecology and Marine Sciences James Porter, has been teaching for 40 years. Professor Porter is concerned about the possibility that distressed students may discharge weapons or use them for intimidation purposes. Tenured Professor William Whitman has been an employee of the university system for 35 years. Professor Whitman's concern is that his laboratory contains nearly $100,000 of equipment, volatile chemicals, and gas cylinders. If pierced, they will explode. UGA student Nolan Hendricks has his license to carry a concealed weapon. Hendricks' main motive for carrying is the times in between, not when he's in class, but when he's traveling from home to campus.
Skinny white dude, I'm not gonna win any fist fights, so I just feel a little bit safer with it.
UGA's response was directing me to the University System of Georgia. The university system released this response. While the USG opposed the campus carry legislation, we are not a party to this lawsuit. To be clear, we are abiding by HB 280, just as we abided by the previous law that prohibited guns on campus. This lawsuit does not represent the position of the University System of Georgia. Now, the Board of Regents and university system institutions have been exercising their constitutional authority to prohibit firearms on university system campuses, but that changed when campus carry passed back in the spring and was institutionalized on July 1st. The constitutionality of the new campus carry law is being questioned because it doesn't allow the Board of Regents to practice their constitutional authorities. A hearing date has not yet been set, but live in the newsroom, Chelsey Shirley, Grady News Source.
Chelsey Shirley is in our newsroom. Chelsey, what's going on in Georgia?
That's right, Annie. Yes, here in Georgia at Kennesaw State University, students are acting in response to free speech. Earlier today, students protested around Kennesaw's campus as Sam Owens was sworn in as president. But this started back on September 30th when 5 Kennesaw State University cheerleaders took a knee during the national anthem protesting racial injustice. Of course, this isn't the first time we've seen this. Former San Francisco 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick sparked this movement and first began the practice last year in protest of the killing of African Americans by police officers. Since the September 30th game, Kennesaw State administrators have prohibited the cheerleaders from taking the field until after the anthem has been played. This now brings up the question, is this prohibiting students' free speech? University is the 3rd largest university in the state of Georgia. In fact, the university has grown significantly since it absorbed Southern Polytechnic University back in 2015. President Sam Owens attributed the action of barring cheerleaders from entering the field until after the national anthem to the university's athletic department. Students have organized protests in response. A source told Grady News Source that some students are fearful of protests that have been planned on Saturday during Kennesaw's homecoming game against Gardner-Webb. Dr. William Lee is a communication law professor at the University of Georgia. He says that the premises are different for a public university and its private athletic association, like Kennesaw State.
And it becomes more permissible for the athletic association to dictate the behavior of the athletes, the behavior of the cheerleaders.
Georgia State Representative Earl Earhart chairs the panel that allocates funds to Georgia's public universities. He commented saying, quote, "I take very seriously patriotism and respect for our flag and for those who fight and died for our freedom. This should not be a conservative or liberal position. This should be an American position." I reached out to the Georgia Board of Regents earlier today for a comment on the current issue and their involvement, but there has been no response. Live from the newsroom, Chelsey Shirley, Grady News Source.
Reporter Chelsey Shirley is live outside the Athens-Clarke County Courthouse, where the trial is ongoing. Chelsey, can you tell us what happened throughout the day?
Yes, on the day 4 of this trial, It began early this morning with Athens Clarke County Officer Michael Wood on the stand. Both the state and the defense took the floor before lunch, and then after lunch, the defense began their cross-examination on Officer Wood.
Nobody's saying wrong. Like I said, it's going to take us a while to work through this one.
Athens Clarke County Officer Michael Wood took his seat in the Superior Courtroom this morning. Wood has been assigned with the traffic unit for the past 4 years, where he investigates vehicle accidents, like the one he was called to on the evening of September 12, 2016. Officer Wood's recounts of the accident scene begin to address the DUI drug charge against Howard.
Based on my observation of those tests and the clues that I observed as an observer, I drew the conclusion that Ms. Howard was impaired.
On the scene, Howard agreed to have a blood test, but the defense argued that Howard was not made aware of her constitutional right to deny.
And the testimony is that this officer asked Ms. Howard if she would be willing to consent to a blood test. And her statement was an affirmative yes.
Driving under the influence of drugs is just one of the 13 counts against Howard, including endangering the life of a child, her child, who was in the vehicle during the time of the accident.
Throughout the day, Howard displayed several different emotions, even crying when Officer Wood's body camera footage was being reviewed in depth. Officer Wood wasn't the only witness to take the stand today. Radiologist Daniel Measle responded on the initial medical conditions of the other 2 victims, Mitchell Enfinger and Brian Malloy. And medical examiner Stephen Atkinson was brought in to testify after lunch. Live from the Athens Clarke County Courthouse, Chelsey Shirley, Grady News Source.
Thanks, Chelsey. You can stay up to date with the trial by following the hashtag WBHTrial or following our Twitter account @Grady News Source.
Good evening, Northeast Georgia. We're currently looking at some wet days ahead today, Wednesday, Thursday. But on the other side of this rain system that's moving in, we're going to have cooler temperatures, a clear, nice weekend. I'm Chelsey Shirley, and I'll have more of your weather coming up next.
And now, the weather.
The rain is here for a while, and I will tell you how much longer you're going to need those rain boots and rain jackets. I'm Chelsey Shirley with your Grady News Source weather. A look at our weather headlines. We do have some rain showers that will be here for the next couple of days, but behind that wet weather is a cold front that's moving in. And on the outside of that, we're going to have a clear weekend, a beautiful Veterans Day this coming Saturday. So if you have memorials that you're planning to go to, the weather will be great. You might need a jacket though. Currently here in Athens, Clarke County, we are sitting at 71 degrees. It could be raining. There's about a 40% chance of showers. Winds very minimal, but as we move into tonight's look out tonight's weather, we're going to see us bottoming out around the lower 60s. That weather will continue tomorrow as well. Looking ahead to tomorrow, our high is going to be around 63 degrees, so we're going to see that around the same as it is tonight as well. The rain will be here though. We're looking at a 60% chance of rain into tomorrow, a little bit higher on Thursday, potentially an 80% chance. So just be prepared for that wet weather. Currently in our area, we are looking at 73 degrees, and that is common around the area as we move further north. As you can see in Chattanooga, the high is 68 degrees. But as we move into tomorrow's weather, we're going to see cooler temperatures around the whole area. The highest is going to be around here in Gainesville with 63, 64 degrees. Again, tonight we're looking at a low of 62 degrees, 40% chance of rain and potential thunderstorms. And as we look into tomorrow, again, that high is going to be around 63. For Grady News Source, I'm Chelsey Shirley. That rain that we are experiencing this morning is moving out of the way, and some cool, nice days are coming ahead. I'm Chelsey Shirley, and I'll have a full look at your Grady News Source weather coming up next.
And now, the weather.
You might have your umbrella and rain jacket with you right now, but you're not going to need it come evening. I'm Chelsey Shirley, and here's a look at your weather headlines for today, Thursday, November 9th, 2017. Another look at our weather headlines. That rain is moving out, so even though it was dreary and cold this morning, it is going away by this afternoon. A look ahead as we move into our weekend. In the beginning of next week, we're going to see some real fall weather, some cool, clear days, clear skies, maybe a few clouds here and there, but nothing like we're experiencing this morning. Our game, even though it is an away game out in Alabama, it's going to be pleasant. We're going to feel like fall, and that is pretty unusual as we experienced during last week's game. A look at tonight's evening planner as you are moving, or if you have plans for the evening. We're going to start around 6 p.m. with about 52 degrees, so it's still going to feel like fall, but as we move into the night, we're going to experience some upper 40s, and as we bottom out, it is going to be in the lower 40s. So if you're making plans, if you're going to be out at dinner with friends, make sure you take a jacket and that you have some layers to add on because it will be cool. Looking at tomorrow, we're going to start our morning or the 9 a.m. hour around 49 degrees. It's going to be a great, beautiful fall day. Clear skies, no projection of rain. Around noon, we're going to see a 59 degrees, and around 3 p.m. we're going to hit our high of 65. So like I said, dress in layers because it's going to feel cooler in the morning for those of us who don't like the cold weather. But by the middle of the day, it's going to be beautiful and a true Georgia fall day. A look at tonight's weather. Tonight, like I said, we're going to bottom out around 43 degrees. Now that rain is projected to leave the area by the afternoon, but we will see some partly cloudy skies, very few winds, the low around 43 degrees. And as we move into tomorrow, clear and sunny, and that is not how it's been the past couple of days. High of around 65, beautiful fall day, like I said. Very few winds as well, and we're going to see that as we move into the weekend as well, no matter where you are across Georgia, even venturing into Auburn for game day, we're going to see some beautiful weather. Now as we look at our low temperatures for tonight, we're going to see the same temperatures around the area, but Blairsville is actually going to reach down into the 30s. Upper 30s, but still cool because Georgians do not like cold weather. And as we move into tomorrow, we're going to experience the same temperatures around the area. The highest in Chattanooga is going to be a 56, but we're going to see mid-60s around the rest of the area, especially here in Athens, Augusta, Atlanta. Around the same temperature, it's going to be beautiful and fall and clear and what we are wanting. Look at our 5-day forecast. Today, we're still going to see some partly cloudy skies. But as we move into Friday and Saturday, clear skies. We're going to see cooler temperatures on Saturday here in Athens. Beautiful Veterans Day, though, if you have any plans. And I'm Chelsey Shirley, and that is your Grady News Source weather.